everybody, and welcome to the Sport Game Life. Today I'm doing a review. Woo! Finspan. Oh, you're swimming everywhere. All right, Finspan. This is a 2025 release from Stonemaier Games. This game was designed by David Gordon and Michael O'Connell. Plays 1 to 5 players in about 45 to 60 minutes, and it's rated for ages 10 and up. Now, this is a board game with a lot of cards. If you're familiar with the Wingspan and Wormspan games, this is in that family. So there's a lot of cards. Some of the mechanisms in this are endgame bonuses, hand management, once per game abilities, solo/solitaire game. So that doesn't mean it's a solo game. You can play it solo. But it's also kind of called a solo solitaire, these games, because you are playing stuff on your own board. You're not impacting other players necessarily. There are options sometimes where you might give them a benefit when you're doing something, but you're not directly impacting everybody else. So this is often called these games are called like a solo solitaire. Everyone's doing their own thing, but at the end of the game, you're trying to see who has the most points. Now, in this game, you are a marine researcher seeking to find and observe an array of aquatic life in the colorful sunlight zone, the ghostly twilight zone, and the pitch black midnight zone of the world's seas and oceans. In Finspan, the fish you discover over 4 weeks will generate a series of benefits as you dive deeper into the ocean. So each dive site will specialize in key aspects of expanding your research. You can grow your collection of fish, discover freshly laid eggs, or hatch eggs into young, and consolidate those young into form schools. The winner is the player with the most points gained from fish, eggs, young, schools, and achievements. So as I showed you the box, this is a normal. I call them medium. Because it's a typical calyx sized box. Okay. I consider this medium. Anything smaller than this, I would just consider small, but normal sized box. So, and sometimes that can be important. How's it going to fit in your library? What kind of shelving do you have? The components, you will get 6 diver meeples of each. So you get a nice component tray. It does hold your cards and your meeples, which is nice, and it'll hold your cardboard tiles. But I don't have those in here, and it does hold your round token or your week for those. But there are 5 colors because it's a 5-player game. I do think their colors are a little weird. It's like there's a real light green diver, and you can see he's a little diver, got a little snorkel at the top. That's kind of cute. There's a pink diver. There's a gold diver, white, and a dark blue. I guess I'm just used to like red, yellow, blue, green type of thing. So their choice of colors I thought was unique, different, odd, however, whichever. So each color is getting 6 of these guys. There are cardboard tiles that you have for the eggs, the young, and the schools. You're going to get a vertical player board. So we'll talk more about this, but that's the player board, and it lays out just like this in front of you. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then lots of cards. This is only a part of the stack, but we'll give you a little, they have some really good information, some good artwork. There's a shark on that one. And then you have about 152 cards total to include for solo and multiplayer. There is a solo component to this. Regarding colorblindness, there's not really an issue that I'm aware of. you're going to get your divers in front of you, and you're just managing them on your own board. So you're not mixing your divers, your colored pieces. Also, on the cards, when you're doing things, everything has images or little logos. Like, you're doing the little fish. This one means to put the great white shark out. You have to what's the cost of this is for 2 young, and what's the other one, and consume a fish, right? So that's your resources. There are some colored zones, but they have the different shapes. It's like a sunlight, and then the twilight, and like a sunset, and then a dark blue. So they're all shaped different. So everything in this game is being very considerate of colorblind. So I don't see any issues at all with this for if you have color blindness. The cardboard's easy to punch out. The pieces are nice and thick. Insert sleeve friendly. I would say possibly. So I'm going to show you. These are all the cards. They pretty much fill these two. I have all my meeples and stuff in the middle, but if I was to sleeve these, then you're going to have to put them. You're going to have to put them into that middle tray, and the middle one is a little smaller. It's not really doesn't look like it's really designed for the cards the way it is shaped. It's not meant to put the cards in there. So if you sleeve these, they're not going to fit in this. So keep that in mind. Maybe you can put your meeples into something else, and you might be able to get the extras in there. But my experience is when you sleeve stuff, man, it basically almost doubles the size of what you need. So I would say that it's not sleevable friendly with the insert. But yeah, there's that. Okay, so let me talk about the rule book a little bit. The rule book is very simple to use. Trying to figure, so I'm so used to using the down camera, I'm using this other one, and now my lights are kind of shining, not in a great way. But it's a really nice rule book. It's only 12 pages long. That includes iconography page on the back, which will show you iconography. But you also get, what did I do with it? I thought I had it sitting out here. Every player does get an iconography card. So this can sit in front of you. It shows all the iconography and explains everything. And then on the other side is the card anatomy. Oh, look, it's the great white shark. I actually pulled that card. So it explains everything. You've got that right in front of you, which is nice. You're not having to, send the rule book around. It's very colorful. Okay. Oh man, the lighting is. I want to get that close, but the light is not good for that. Maybe I'll have to go to the down camera to show the stuff off. We'll do that, but before we do, I'm going to ask a special. Please like this video. Please subscribe to us, and then hit that alert icon so you will not miss a video when we post it. Also, please feel free to comment and share this with friends of yours. All right, thank you so much. And now let's just go to the table cam, and I will. There you go. See, now I can show you this a little bit better. You can see there's some really nice artwork. Everything's very colorful. Shows you how to put everything, how to do a sample dive. They explain it, and yeah, it's a really good rule book. Not a lot. It's the simplest of the Wormspan games, and yeah. So let me check something. It looks like. Oh, okay, it's still there. It's just my window. I thought my one camera disappeared. All right, so that is that. What else did I want to talk about? The artwork in this game is really nice. As you saw the shark card that I showed you a minute ago. If you're familiar with Wingspan, Wormspan, they're all, the art is really nice. That's just a really nice looking shark. Let me just pull another card, see what we get. We got abyssal halosaur. And like the birds, these are like wingspan. These are all real fish, unlike the wormspan where they're dragons. So you're gonna really nice stuff. And I've seen fish that I'd never seen before or even heard of before. So there you're gonna that's kind of a really cool thing. So something special about this game is that there's a lot of replayability. Oh, so I just need to leave this cover off. One of the things is like there's facts on the bottom of the on the bottom of the cards. So this one, for example, says for the great white shark, known by scientists as simply the white shark, this famous predator is itself occasionally preyed upon by orca whales. So it's kind of neat. There's actual facts about each fish on the bottom of the card. So it's also educational. Kids might really enjoy this. I think learning is always a good thing. So it's nice to be able to, especially if you see something new, it's like, oh, hey, look, I never saw this. What? And you get a little information about the fish. This is definitely the easiest game to play in the Wingspan series. I would say this is the entry level version, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But this is a quicker, easy, faster setup, quicker to the table, quicker to play. I played with 5 people just the other day, and we were done in an hour, and that was with a first time going through it in a teach. So 45 to 60 minutes is definitely doable in this game. Another nice thing is if you want to upgrade your components, you can upgrade. You can buy an upgrade pack straight from Stonemaier. And this is not a endorsed video. This is just me doing. I paid for all this stuff myself. Nothing is endorsed, and I'm just sharing my thoughts. But I did purchase the upgraded wooden young. So those are the little young fish. Here are their school meeples. Again, you can buy these straight from the Stonemaier site. And then probably the most talked about are these squishy eggs. Now, these things they're not super squishy. They do squish a little bit. And there is a flat side. Let's see if I can get this in here. That one side is a little flat, so that you can, it will sit on the table without rolling around. Now, there'll still be some rolling, but as you can see, you can't make it roll, but it does stop and sit. So that's nice that they do have a flat side. So those are available, and the squishy eggs and the wooden components are nice. In the cardboard version, you'll have one side will have an egg looking thing. The other side will have the young. You just flip it over, and then the schools of fish will be a separate token altogether. All right. Let's see. So a little bit more about the game for gameplay. So there's 4 rounds, and they're called weeks. So you'll play this game 4 rounds. Each round you will have 6 turns, and everyone takes a turn, and you just kind of keep going around one at a time. And basically the goal of the game is to have the most points at the end. So as I said, this game has its root in the Wingspan universe. You will gain cards to play on your player board to gain points or to consume smaller fish, etc. One big difference is that this board, I'm going to show you one. Oh, and another quick neat thing is on the back. If you place all 5 of these boards out, you'll make a map of the world. So here you can see I've got Africa and Europe, and you can lay the boards out and get a nice world map. I think that's kind of neat. But in Wormspan and Wingspan, the game's played, your board laid out in front of you horizontally, and you worked like this in your habitats or in your cave system. You worked left to right. Here, because we're in the ocean, it's going to play vertical in front of you, and you can place your fish in the different zones, but you can place them depending on some things. You can place them wherever you want in your zone. Now, there's some, like if you see there's a pattern here, it's green, but it is a specific pattern. This is a purple pattern. There's a blue pattern. So if your card has this pattern along that same edge of the card, then it has to go into this column. But so, and you're going to be moving the fish around on the board and things like that. You can put eggs out only on fish, and you'll start out with one young, two eggs, and then 3 fish pre-printed on your board. Everyone gets that, so you already have stuff to start. But that's kind of a nice thing as you're diving. You're going to dive, and instead of working your way across, moving your meeple to the cards across, you're going to move your diver down, and you're going to take an ability or whatever. So here you're taking a card if you have a fish anywhere in here. And then if you have fish and they have the when activate option, then that your diver can go on them and activate that bonus. And then you'll keep working down to the bottom. And then if it's the first dive in this section, you get to retrieve a card from your discard. That's what the scales there mean. So yeah, that's how that works. And so the cards are not, one thing too I like is that things are easier to come by, I think, in this game. So you really have kind of your resources are like your cards, because when you have cards, you have eggs, you have young. And when you are trying to play a card, it might say you have to discard from your hand, and then it goes to the discard, but there's a lot of options to go back through your discards and pull those cards back into your hand. So they're not necessarily gone when they're discarded. And it's easier to get something. If I need eggs, I do a dive here, and I can get 3 right there, 4 if it's my first time, and I can gain more if I've got fish here that allow you to get eggs. Maybe you want to put some eggs that over in a different zone, so that when you do a dive here, I'm hatching an egg to a young. Oh, maybe I have one here, gives me an egg. I'm hatching, and able to move some schools or young fish around. So it's a lot easier. You're not having to, well, I need 3 meats and milk, and same with the birds who need cherries or wheat or things like that. So again, this is a lot easier to apply for that aspect. All right, so I like that they have this achievement board. So there's a side A. So very first time you play, you can just put this out, and then in weeks 1, 2, and 3, you have these achievements. So here it's you get 1 point for every egg and or young fish you have on your player board, and then whoever has the most will get an additional 3 points. Oh, maybe not on the first side. It's just scoring it on side A. You just score it, retrieve your divers, and then rotate the first player token. But on achievement side B, which is the one we played, you get these tiles. There's a bunch of tiles in the game, and you shuffle these up, and you randomly put 3 out. And then what happens is at the end of weeks 1 through 3, you score the points, and then the player who received the most points from that achievement also scores an additional 3. And then you retrieve your divers and you rotate the first player token. So this also kind of sits as a reminder of what to do at the end of the week. And then at the end of week 4, you're going to score any game end abilities, and then it shows you what you're going to score here at the end of the game. Points for eggs, your young, your schools, and then points for what we call tucked cards. Here they're called consumed. So you get a point for every card that's consumed by another fish. So adds a nice variety to that. Let's see. Is it easy to pick up? Yes, it's the easiest one in the series to pick up and play. It really is. There's a couple of things that you might want to look at. The iconography is probably the biggest thing. But again, once you do a couple rounds or look at something, it's like, oh, okay, I know what this means. So it is easy to pick up. The advertised playtime is definitely accurate. We had a 5-player game play in an hour. With the teach for a first time run through. So I know if we played it again, we'd be done in like 45 minutes. So again, I said before, this is the simpler version of Wingspan, but it's still a lot of fun. It changes up the gameplay enough from other titles to make this a welcome addition to any board game collection. This will allow for a larger audience of people to play, and it could end up being a gateway game into medium weight games for those that just have not yet felt comfortable going there yet. The fish cards are many, and each is unique in what it does and the fish that's focused on the card. And you will likely see fish you never knew existed. All right, so I think I'm done with the table. Let me get back to this screen. Um, the, that's kind of my pros of it. There's really nothing wrong with this game. I know it got a lot of hate, which I think is stupid. People are like, "Oh, why is they're just milking the franchise?" I can look around here. Ticket to Ride, is that milking the franchise? There's like 800 versions of it. I got Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Island, Forbidden Skies, Forbidden Jungle. Right? There's 4 in that series. Azul. How many? They just changed the colors to all brown and called it chocolate, and it's the same as the original Azul. It's like, so come on. I got 3 Dorf Romantics sitting right there. There. Those 3 Dorf Romantic, like, they're great games. Memoir 44 above me. There's a bunch in that series. Don't buy into that. That's just idiotic internet hate. There's people being stupid. This is a great game. It's a great series. Maybe not everyone's a fan of birds or dragons, and there are a lot of people that love fish. So hey, they finally get a Wingspan game that, series of games that interest them. So it's a great game. It's a great theme, and it provides more options to fans of the Wingspan series. Is it fun? That's really important. Yes, this is fun to play. So I played the other day in my game group. The other 4 people with me, all experienced gamers. I didn't think they'd want to play it because they like heavier weight stuff, medium to heavyweight, heavy medium games, right? And they all enjoyed it. They all had fun with this game. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. I will play it again. Do I have a favorite of the 3? Not really. They all play it different enough that for me to play, I probably would never play Wingspan again, only because I hate the bird feeder. That's the thing. I love Wormspan because I can go get the resources I want. So it's really, for me personally, it's between the dragons and the fish, and it really depends on the time frame that I have. If I have an hour or less, then I want to play Finspan. If I've got more than an hour, then we'll play Wormspan. It really kind of comes down to that, and your audience, who's playing. So I would recommend it. I give it a thumbs up, and I think any gamer would be happy to have this in their library. And again, I think anyone that is if they want to move into the medium weight games, or they feel a little concerned, this is a very easy game to take that leap. This is a great introductory game for those who've only played light or party games. And I really think this could be a gateway game for some people to move up into a little bit more meatier games than what they're used to. And this has a ton of replayability. It's a really good game. So don't listen into all the internet hate. This is a fantastic game. It really is. Check it out. I recommend adding it to your gaming collection because it's just different. There's enough differences between these and the other 2 games that it's not duplicating what you already have. It's a similar mechanic with some changes. And again, I'm glad that they made one that plays quicker and it still has the fun of everything that we love from this series. So, all right. Well, I want to thank you again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so that you know when we're releasing new content. I've been doing a lot lately, and I've got more scheduled automatically to go every day for the next several days. And but also be sure to comment and tell your friends. Share this video out with someone that you think might like to know a little bit more about Finspan. Again, with that, we appreciate you joining us. Hope you have a fantastic day. We'll see you at the table.